Well, hey there team, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to Oxygen Not Included, specifically the Spaced Out DLC, which has just launched into 1.0. This is one of my favorite games of all time. I haven't played it in a little while, because we haven't really been doing a lot of Let's Plays, but that might be about to change. This is a colony management game, and it's very hardcore. Don't let the cutesy aesthetic throw you. You basically have a side-scrolly colony a la, I don't know, XCOM base management in the reimaginings. And there's a lot of like gas mechanics and heating mechanics, a lot of sort of, dare I say, engineering or chemical engineering, but it is gamified as well. You know, gas has to behave in such a way that it flows from square to square, for example, right? So there's a lot of quirks and rules to the game, but it's actually pretty hardcore, and it's incredibly satisfying when you solve systems for like colony heat death and that sort of thing. So I've been dying to come back to it. Spaced Out is a significant DLC that's been in sort of beta branch for a while, but yeah, now it's fully released. And what it really does is change the game's scope from it being just one large sort of home base asteroid, which is, you know, you guys are stuck on an asteroid and you have to sort of thrive there. Now you start on a much smaller one, and you are heavily incentivized to build spaceships and rocketry to then go and colonize and interact with the other bits of asteroid via sort of, you know, getting resources that aren't native to your home asteroid, that sort of thing. I haven't played a humongous amount of Spaced Out because, you know, I love it, I enjoy it. Life's been busy, and I knew it was going to come out and release at some time, so today's the day. Anyway, so there's your setup. If you're a middling engineering mind like me, you're probably going to absolutely love this. For whatever reason, this consumes a lot of my time, much like, say, RimWorld when I get into downtime stuff. But this is definitely close cousins with even things like Factorio, Satisfactory. Even though they're more logistics change management, it is a bit more complex. Get the old cogs turning in your head. So there's the setup. Let's go. Let's get into it, and let's watch a really stupid Australian bogan play this incredibly complicated game. We're going to play survival because we're not a puss, and we're going to play Spaced Out, you know? Scenarios designed for the Spaced Out DLC, smaller starter asteroid with resources distributed across the star map. More emphasis on space travel, which is completely foreign to me in this game, to be honest. The win condition of Oxygen Not Included previously was to just launch your rocket to point X, from what I understand, the long-term condition. Now it's way more in the mid-game. What is going on here? So I guess you can choose your start point. Oh, wow, look at all this. I remember when it was just the first one. We're going to go just the first one because I'm boring, and ideal survival chance sounds really good to me. Nearby asteroids, starting asteroid, distant asteroids. The Moo asteroid? Oh, sounds pretty bloody cool. Okay. Irradiated forest asteroids, mixed boulders, metal port, geode. Oh, hang on. Irradiated forest? Oh, right, no, they're the nearby ones. Yep, I understand. That's just breaking down what's in this sort of universe. I see, and it's re-rolled it a couple of times each time I've touched it. Okay, that's fine. Long and short of it, I just need to press bloody go, because I don't really care about, you know, trying to customize my seed. My seed's just fine the way it is, thank you. Just going. Anyway, randomness is the spice of these sort of games. Trying to overcome it. I find if you try and min-max your world space, you're going to take a lot of the fun out of it. Alright. We'll let it load up. So yeah, this is me to obviously shout it out, showcase this, let people know that it exists. But let me know, I'm very tempted to potentially bung out a bunch of episodes of this game. And see how we go and come up with some clever solutions. I just take the default dudes, the Great Base. That sounds like a pretty cool name for a Great Base. Yeah, let's call it that. I try not to get stuck into that customization stuff. I find it, I mean, it's not super watchable, but also for me, I don't know, I just find it detracts from the game. I'm not here to play bloody Barbie doll fucking dress-ups. But that's just me. Oh, it's good to be back. Okay, so look, because I'm pretty unimaginative, I'm going to go with the style of base that I've done previously, which people get really fucking angry at me about, but I'm like, you can piss off because it's my base. So this is an exception to the rule, but I found that I can do 4x3. Like I said, it's been a little while since I played this. Let's just lay this out. That's sort of how we're going to go like that. Where's the water? Because we're going to need to tap water. Oh, that's going to be pretty straightforward, actually. Nice. I like that. Okay, so let's drill that out first. And we'll run a ladder all the way down. Gonna probably need more dirt. Don't build that just yet, because that's going to be a doorway. And see, it's got some little bloody pointers. We can get rid of all this crap. That's right, the resources and the diagnostics. That's handy. So it gives you an idea of what resources you have in storage, and it will flag if you're in kind of deep shit. No oxygen generator built, no outhouse built. Okay, now, like I said, I'm a man of habit. We're going to build the way that I was building previously. And you know what? It's probably not the right way to do it, but bugger it. Start with what you know, right? We can always change on the fly. So you can see I'm building like a little 4x3. The reason for doing that, I believe if you press this F12, F11, room overlay, you can make rooms depending on their furniture. For example, we're going to make this latrine, right? It's got to be an enclosed room of 12 tiles minimum, right? 4, 8, 12. It's got to have a washroom and a toilet, and that's what we're going to do exactly, right? Medicine. So we're going to put a wash basin. And I think we'll have to put a door on it, but we'll see. So this is how I sort of build my rooms, with ladders between each one. So we'll have a mirror room on this side. In fact, we're going to do it in a 2x2 cube. And then we're going to have access tunnels that I just call Jeffrey's tubes because I'm a nerd. Has that made the room technically? Oh, it turns the whole thing into the room. Right, so we need metal to build a door, which we could grab some from there. Let's grab some metal. Some copper or whatever. Perfect. So we're just going to bung a door there to show you what I'm on about. Oh, there we go. F11, look at that. Latrine. Now, if dudes go into that room, they get +1 morale. So juggling room morale bonuses is actually a really big part of your forward progress, because you need to level your dudes up. It's like RimWorld. The more noble, the more, except in RimWorld it's less of a big deal. In this it's actually a huge deal. The more that these dudes level up their skill tree, which you can see here, see they're just down here, they haven't got any, but if I allocate them skills, you see they get a negative morale need offset. So if I want this dude that's good at fucking hazmat digging, he's going to be in a really bad mood, so you have to have more green than red, and the way to do that is by giving them fancy meals, giving them, you know, places to poo that are comfortable, you know, the normal sort of thing. So a huge part of the game, as it opens up, is handling that sort of mood balance equation. Anyway, so this is saying that it needs water, which we're going down to tap now. I'm also opening out my little Jeffrey's tube now, so this will be like a little superhighway for the dudes to move through. We'll put that there. What else? We're gonna need some power. So copy. And we'll build a hamster wheel as well. There you go, that'll get the ball rolling, I think. Like that. Oh, need more metal. That's right, there's some over here. Okay, now if I was to, let's see. Now this is also going to be our sump boundary, which is a concept I've come up with, which, how do we bring up oxygen? Oxygen is F1. Okay, so that's our oxygen. Look at this. This is CO2. These dudes make CO2, and you can already see the CO2 tries to pull from a gravity pull. There's a very extreme gravity effect in this game. Extreme, you know, extreme-ish. Extreme enough. So essentially in the beginning, we're going to be filling our little sealed citadel up with bloody CO2 kind of quickly. So the best solution in the early time is to just actually dig out a sump for it to sit in. So that's what's going to happen essentially below this boundary. We can even put a little door there to designate it. Like so, all right? And the structure of the base under here is going to be exactly the same because that gives us the capacity for expansion. If we want to move the base up or down. Now, that's 3. 1, 2, 3. Oots. 1, 2, 3. Oots. Okay, we could probably get a pump in there. No stress. Yeah, that's probably the go. Let's do that, and we'll hollow that out. Cool. I can see it all in my mind's eye. It might not be super clear to someone on the outside looking in. There's a lot of fundamentals to get going. You gotta be careful tasking them into the water too much, because they will get hypothermia. We're also gonna put the toilet on priority 9 for dealing with. There you go, he's gonna have a big poo. Good for him, you know? Apparently that's unreachable. Let's do that. Alright, and they have a day-night cycle as well, so they're basically in downtime. They're having a feed, they're having a chat, having a shit, you know? And then they'll go to sleep on the beds that I haven't built for them, because bugger them. Now in the longer term, we're gonna wanna look. There's no hot water. It's interesting. We're gonna need to tap geysers because you can probably tell we have finite resources, but there are some sources of infinite things. For example, oh, here you go. You can see the gas mechanics in action there with gravity, even though this is all poisonous and horrible for our dudes. Hydrogen goes high and chlorine sinks to the bottom. So the gases have a hierarchy depending on essentially their atomic weight, I suppose. And then this stuff is sort of polluted. If we bring up the infection, you can see you can get a bit of food poisoning infection if these dudes don't wash their hands. Looks like I didn't plug that in there, so we'll do that. And then this stuff gets in your lungs, so it's hard. That's harder to clean because your dudes literally have it inside them. All right, cool. So this is a rudimentary power source generator. We're charging a battery, and it's using this. It's charging this oxygen diffuser, which is pushing out more O2 at the cost of algae, which we will run out of. But in the starting biome, you have a shitload of it, right? So that's good to go. Now, I will also say I've obviously explained what the Spaced Out DLC is. If you're here to see how it's different from the core game, that's very difficult to showcase on a first episode. At the end of the day, it's more like, hey, be aware, this game rocks, they're still updating it, the DLC's out and released, and it's awesome, and that's all you really need to know, right? However, if we make a bloody 100 episodes of this, you might actually start to see the DLC in play, because it is more to that mid-game, definitely. It doesn't really affect the early game so much, other than maybe limiting our play space significantly compared to the base game. Anyway, so they've pumped water, they've filled the basin. I've just put this basin here so that whenever someone walks past it, they wash their hands. I'm not that worried about putting an arrow on it. You can say only wash your hands from X direction, so there's minor sort of programming to it, but I'm not that worried. Okay, colony needs a food source, which we will put there. Alright, we'll plug that in. Now I was talking about geysers. So geysers will, there's different types of things, but you could get a water geyser, and that pumps out fucking burning hot, boiling water. So you've got infinite water, and steam and all that. However, you've also got heat, so you have to come up with a way to get rid of heat in what is ostensibly a closed system, at least until you hit vacuum. And once you get to vacuum, that's literally that's what you're thinking. Come up with a way to vent heat into the what is now essentially an open system. What we're going to do is queue microbe mush bars forever, because we need to... Did I already queue it? I think so. Mush bar. Oh yeah, there we go. Forever. And then we put it on 9, and then I hit enter and tell them to turn it off. This is my little system. So once we start getting a food low warning, I can just hit enter on that and turn the machine back on, and someone will start making food. Except it just uses dirt and water, a lot of water, and it's quite energy heavy as well. So you don't want that as your primary food source. You just don't. Okay, and then you can see CO2's pooling down here. Right, well, that's basically everything that we need to get the ball rolling. We might take this moment to get some storage and just get the dudes to clean up. We're going to need to start to hit research quicker. While beds are handy for mood, they're not that important for mood, but they do. You dudes get like a sore back debuff, I believe. Here you go, sore back. -1 athletics, essentially for the whole day, by sleeping on the floor. So giving them beds is actually kind of important. Another reason I build my base in this way is for circulation. I know that this one ladder is going to trigger people, whatever. That's how it's going to be. But as the oxygen generates, what we'll be doing is creating mirror versions of this layout. And then these Jeffries tubes and ladders will create like a... It's not a boundary, but this sort of flow path. You'll see. Hopefully we get to it in this episode. We'll let them fill that box up. Because all that clutter actually hurts to the... It's not the room layout. There's like a decor aesthetic. Yeah, decor. Not that important just yet. Again, because we don't have really any skill base to them. You can see our colony stress is at 0. So at the moment, these dudes are happy to eat shit and just live in the dark, essentially, right? Because they're pretty low effort blokes. But once they start getting a bit more specialized, well, we're going to actually have to pander to them a bit more. Alright, so let's expand out another room. I suppose specifically a bedroom might be the... I'm usually pretty lax on the bedrooms, but we'll do this. Boom, boom, ladder. Oops. Let's just go with that for the moment. Dig this out. You can see this is a bit of a mirror. Right. Now everyone's going to have their own idiosyncratic way of building. I mean, these sort of games invite that. This is just how I do it. We'll also put priority on food storage. Let the boys rest. It's probably a good time at night to sort of lay out your base. You've got to be careful overburdening your colony with crap to do. So this is going to turn into a room here, this will turn into a room here, then we'll have our sort of little modular block, and then I'll run a Jeffries tube over the top of it, and then there you go, my 2x2 ladders on either side, tubes on the top. That is my standing building unit, and I will just replicate that ad nauseum. Until maybe we get into the later game and I have to deal with problems that I'm not used to dealing with, but until then, it's a pretty good situation if I say so myself. It'll do. It'll get us from point A to point B. So let these blokes dig. So as they level up, you can see this thing's charging, and this is how you get more colonists, right? These guys will level up, and then you could make them specialize in digging and make them basically better at this. Yeah. Yeah. Don't get yourselves stuck up there, boys. Yeah, you actually have to supervise them a little bit. They're actually like this bloke. They're incredibly good at getting themselves fucking stuck and then suffocating. And if you don't keep an eye on it, a lot of the time it's too little too late. So you can see he's holding his breath. If you have a look here, all that, I've cracked this thing open, so a whole bunch, and that's quite dense actually, 1,000 grams per unit. That's really gonna flow into, yeah, it's pouring into my base. Fortunately, they're actually gonna seal it up. So this We'll keep an eye on it, actually. You can see it slowly, you know, they pass each other. Sort of like traffic. The squares swap. You can't have CO2 and oxygen in the same square at the same time. So you can see it has this flow profile. And it's already starting to zip down here and swap out with O2. That's cool. It's cool to see it in action. Anyway, we're going to probably need another bedroom. What we will do is we'll finish this power room. Let's do that. Might as well finish this little battery room as well. So this is sort of one-off room that I build because this machine's too tall for my system, so I just put batteries in there. Choose blueprint. Curative tablets. Oh yeah. Nah, we could use another dude. What I should check is duplicate skills. Alright, we've got someone that's good at hard digging. What about improved construction? Oh yeah? Improved farming? Not so much. Okay. Agriculture. This might... Here, now, traits. Improved. Don't they have a love for certain things? Operating. Oh, interests. Here we go. Operating and suit wearing are the only interests that these guys have. Operating and suit wearing. Let's just see if we can try and round the colony out a little bit. What we got? Where he is. Operating. Improved tinkering. Okay. Yeah, there you go. That looks like that's a hole in our colony, so let's get that. Print. Welcome to the colony, Shaz. Marie. Alright, what we'll do is we'll plonk another one of those there. And we'll build a battery rack there. You probably shouldn't do that. Because the batteries give off a shitload of heat, actually. Your incentive to not use a lot of batteries is the heat offset. Now these guys are blocking themselves in with sand. Oh well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. There is a heat overlay here. Green is kind of good. It's a bit warm down here. Different materials hold a heat to different amounts. Yeah, look at that. That's all cleared out already. Circulation at work. It's getting a little bit hung up in this corner, right? Because arguably there's no circulation motivation in the corner, right? Like this is a gravity feed flow. This, it's still part of it, but not as much, not as aggressive. Alright. So what's going to be the next step? Well, let's continue to round these rooms out. Build another bedroom. And if you press, what was it, F11? There you go, this has got a barracks, which is different from a bedroom. So there's usually a more advanced version, you know. But that will give the dudes plus mood. They won't have the sore back, which won't affect their athletics, which won't affect their, I believe it's just their move speed and their carrying capacity. Probably need to build this ladder. You can change the trigger for the battery charge. So once these batteries drop below 50%, they'll jump on that wheel. That's the default. That seems fine at the moment. That serves us fine. Insufficient oxygen generation. If you press E, you can get an oxygen overlay. I believe. Stress. Hang on, what am I looking at here? Oh, here we go. It's down here. Oxygen generation. We're adding 47 kilos. Remove 90. Right. Power usage, power wasted. Okay. Lost due to battery runoff or overproduction in my colony. Ah, that's cool. I might have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, we're sucking a lot of oxygen back for what we're generating. I'm not that worried just yet, to be honest. Alright, cool. So we've nearly finished sort of one of my little bloody units, right? The final touch is this bit on the top. Right, dig that out, dig that out. And then you can just start mirroring a lot of the build, like that. We can put that there, we can put a box up here. And there's no pass through here, right? So they have to path around it. It's good. And this will help with circulation. As we've seen sort of here, it's starting to all get sucked and trapped over here. We'll be able to circulate. I find I put these on these corners purposefully because they stop because of gas pressure. You can see the oxygen density here is quite high. But it's, I mean, apart from putting in a big open area, I find this is actually a pretty effective way to do it, is put it this sort of corridor junction and put one at each one, because there'll be one here as well, right? And it sort of helps, like, this will stop, the machine will stop drawing and working once you hit that max gas pressure. So it's constantly this sort of positive pressure force on a centered point that helps promote circulation. So what's next for the colony? Well, honestly, we probably want to get some research going, right? This will be a kitchen. This will be, I don't know what that'll be. Maybe we open up in that direction. There's a lot of sort of free oxygen out there. Yeah. Yeah. Because what I would like to do is get a research station up and running. Probably need another toilet. One visit remaining. Now, have they pooed yet this morning? Not sure. Can I don't actually manually task my dudes very often. Clean toilet. Let's flag it for clean toilet now. Just while people aren't pooing. Because they'll all get up in the morning just dying to poop. And if we clean it now, it's probably better. You can make your own plumbed toilet as well. And then you have to have like wastewater and all sorts of stuff, which is pretty cool. What are we going to do here? Now, when we research this box, we're actually going to move it over. That's why I've built it the way I've built it. Look at this, that's opening the circulation right up. You can see our little sump's starting to fill up, so we have to monitor that. The idea is if we create these sort of little drains, because we will research airflow tiles, we can get to a point where there's, you know, it drains out here as well. And that this corridor is oxygenated, but all below this is just dirty gases. And then we'll put buildings down here that don't require my dudes to cross the boundary, like the batteries. They don't need to be up here because they don't need to be interacted with, so we'll probably move the batteries into the sump. I don't think my dudes can reach that. Okay. Now, I can't quite remember if deleting these... this is sort of a starter block. Oxalite, it generates oxygen. I don't know, if I mine that out and then put it in storage, does it keep generating oxygen? I can't honestly remember. Oh, we've made that too tall. You silly sausage. That's what we want. There we go. And then what we'll do is... build that out. I already can see a dude falling down this bloody hole. God damn it. You... that's on me, I suppose. Oh no, actually you don't need to do that. What you need to do is put a ladder here. So they're waiting to be dug out. At least they've got oxygen, so that's good. I haven't killed them too much. What you could do actually is a good way to show off the priority system. We could go higher priority on, like, say, that. That should get them through. So when these dudes are finished charging the batteries, they should favor what I just flagged. Yeah, they're just grabbing the dirt to use. There we go. Everything's Gucci. Yeah, so doors there. Research station, we'll put 2 of them. And we'll rig it in. Man. Depends, I haven't really thought too hard about how I'm going to run my wire. Okay, maybe I will just run it in the corridor for the moment. That'll do. And there we go. Scarlet's bloody build. Triggers all these hardcore neckbeards that come in here and scream at me, but that's alright. I get sick of them after a while. Anyway, yeah, this is how I start a colony. It's great to be back. Let me know if you've enjoyed this, if you want to see some more, because I don't really see a problem with recording my progress and putting it up, and if people want to catch those episodes. Alright team, might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.